Hey there! Looks like I've got my second video out, which is great because I really wanted to get a second video out today, shortly after my first video was released, because I feel like if you take that first step, that second step's got to follow really quickly, and then each step after that, hopefully, is a lot easier. What I wanted to talk about today, actually, is the thing that kind of gave me that little push I needed to finally start making content. It's two parts. The first part actually happened last year in December, towards the end of the year, when I came across a video by another creator that I felt really inspired me to feel like this is something I can do. Granted, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I actually wanted to start making videos sometime in early 2022. Kept wanting to do it, kept thinking about it. I have a bunch of recorded stuff that's probably never going to see the light of day because I just kept getting inside my own head about it. I kept feeling like it wasn't good enough. I kept feeling like it had to be perfect. I kept feeling like those first steps, if those weren't great, I would just stumble, fall flat on my face, and I pretty much die, you know? So that was a really tough barrier for me to break past, because I'm kind of a perfectionist. The few times I've actually stumbled on my words so far into this is been really hard for me to not just stop and start over again. But we're already in it this far. We're going to keep going. And that's important. It's important to just keep going. But I'm getting off the path. The path we were originally on was talking about this video that made me think, made me realize that all I need to do is just put stuff out there. The video is by a creator named Zoe Bee. I will link it in the description. I'll try to figure out cards, but again, this is all so new to me, but we'll see what I can figure out. It will definitely be in the description though. It's a short video. It's only about 7.5 minutes long, and it talks about being a content creator. Basically, it was a response to a comment she received that, let's see if I actually wrote notes. I'm not following a script or anything, but I wrote notes, like bullet points for me to follow. And of course, I didn't put down the exact quote that from the comment that inspired her video. Okay, this is hopefully a part where I've learned something about editing. If not, you guys are going to experience me having a whole brain fart for about 5 minutes. Anyway, back to my notes. The first 3 to 4 minutes of this video by Zoe Bee about I figured it out. It's stop complaining and be a fucking artist, right? Quit complaining and be a fucking artist. She repeats it several times through the video, driving the point home as she covers for the first 3 to 4 minutes all the nuance, the analytics, the parasocial relationships, the insanity of trying to balance genuine, sincere content with productive media empires. Like, how do you appease the algorithm and appease your fans and do it all in a genuine way? And it's intense for 4 minutes. And she keeps repeating this line from this comment that inspired this video. Quit complaining, stop complaining, and be a fucking artist. After she talks about that, everything goes quiet, and then we get a video of her talking about failure. And as someone who has been in the creative field for a very long time, failure is something that you really need to get a grasp on. The best way to improve yourself in any artistic endeavor is to be able to take constructive criticism and to be able to fail and build upon that. And this is something I have believed for a very long time. The video that she cuts into talking about failure is talking about the 100 poem challenge and how she failed it. And that resonated with me personally, because even though I'm not a poet, I write short stories and novels. Something I do every year is the 100 rejection challenge, which is a little bit different. It's basically striving to get 100 rejections a year from your short stories or whatever else you put out there. In the literary, world, you write a story, you send it out to possible journals or anthologies that might be interested in publishing it, and you're up against probably thousands of stories, if not more, depending on how big the journal you're submitting to is. And if you get 100 rejections, that's 100 people saying that they're not interested in your writing. However, if you're putting that much content out into the world, you might get 100 rejections, but you might get 5 acceptances, 5 journals who said yes, that wouldn't have said yes if you hadn't put that out there to begin with. So this is something I'm really passionate about with my writing. And this video made me realize that this is something that I should be able to put into my YouTube videos. Every video I'm going to put out is not going to be a big one. Every video I'm going to be putting out is not going to be a success. I might make some people mad. I might get horrible comments. I might not get any views at all at first. It might take me a while to even start getting that traction, but I'll never know unless I start putting it out there. And Zoe Bee's video came at a time where I was starting to think about doing this again. So the timing was just beautiful. Chef's kiss. Beautiful. It was just the thing I needed at that time, or so I thought. The video continues where Zoe basically does the same thing I did here, talking about how important it is as artists to just create for the sake of creating, create because you have to. Don't create because of an algorithm. Don't create because of views. Don't create because of the comments and the love and the adoration. Create because that's what you do. Because, as she turns the phrase from the comment background, you are a fucking artist. This is what we do. We create art. One of the things she says is that art is scary. And it is, because you're putting so much of yourself out there. But art is important. That video inspired me in a way. And she actually includes comments from her own channel of people who were inspired or people who needed things at just the right time, just like this video hit me at the right time. It was so inspiring. And I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. And then I didn't. And then the craziness of the holidays were over. And I was like, finally, I can have the time to make YouTube videos. And I didn't. I went back to my job, went back to being stressed out, went back to my days off being all about vegging and playing video games and reading books. With that in the back of my mind, I got to create these YouTube videos. I got to start filming. I got to start doing it and not doing it. And that's where the second part comes in. That's when I broke my toe. It was about mid-January. I smashed my toe into an ottoman that's in our bedroom that's just filled with magazines. So it's really heavy, immovable. And I smashed my toe on it. Didn't really think anything of it at first until I started going to work. Now my job involves me walking for almost my entire shift. So I basically usually spend 8 hours a day walking because I'm also a full-time worker. So I spend 8 hours a day walking. You have a hurt toe, that's going to affect things pretty badly. So I finally got it checked out. Turns out I broke my toe. And the only way for it to heal is for me to not be walking. And I went on short-term disability leave for my job for about 5 weeks. I'm about halfway through that. Of course, back in my mind starts coming forward, being like, hey, this is great. You're not working. You're not going to be stressed out at work. You can have all the time in the world to create these videos, right? 2 weeks passed. I hadn't recorded anything. But it was still there in the back of my mind. And all I had to do was tell myself, hey, make a video. Who cares what you're saying in it? Just introduce yourself and put it on there. That's the only thing that matters, because that's going to be that first step. And that's what I did. And I put it out there. It's got 9 views right now, which I know is my boyfriend, who's my only subscriber at the moment, and then a couple people at work who he showed it to. Which, it's the first video. I haven't really done a lot of advertising. I mentioned it on Twitter, but not a lot of people follow me on Twitter. Not a lot of people follow me on Twitter either. So I'm not expecting it to get a lot of traction right away. Eventually it will, hopefully. Eventually, start gaining momentum, start picking up things on the algorithm, all that stuff that I don't really want to think about right now. Right now, I just want to create content. Right now, I just want to be a fucking artist. Just need to create things. I need to put it out there in the world, because one thing she mentioned, Zoe Bee mentions in that video too, is that this world is all about luck. And that's something that I have known deep inside for a very long time, because I've always worked in an artistic field. I've always been a creator. I've always written. I've always drawn. I've always known that the only way to get something to noticed is if you put it out there. It might not get noticed. It might get noticed. It might get noticed for all the wrong reasons, but you never know until you put it out there. So I needed to approach this channel the same way that I approach my writing. Just putting it out there, hoping someone who sees it likes what they see enough to just, then that's the thing, enough to what? Enough to just enjoy it, so that I can have made maybe an impact on their life. Maybe somebody comes across this video and they're inspired by it too, the same way I was inspired by Zoe's video. I never know until I try, though. And so this is me putting myself out there, giving it a try, showing appreciation for a creator that has got some amazing content. I have one subscriber. She doesn't need me advertising for her, but if you do come across this and you don't know Zoe Bee yet, please check it out. Again, I'll try to link it in the description. Fantastic content. Ironically, one of the things she says in the video too is that creators have to create together, so to reach out to other creators and connect with them. I have anxiety, so I'm not going to reach immediately out to her. I'm going to do the coward's way by just making a video and linking a few things. But if she does happen across this, I want to say thank you, Zoe, for that video, which really inspired me. And here I am making more videos, and hopefully many more to follow. Thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.